Why Kanye is a genius? Take 4. So for his producer mentality and his producer style, he created no, he didn't create it, but he reinvented the fucking soul rap type beat, like Jesus Walks. I mean, they talk about it in the documentary. Through the Wire, a lot of his beats were like reinventing the 90s style of like, you sample a song and then you throw drums on it and then you rap on it. Like Today Was a Good Day is a good example. Like that's a straight up a fucking Isley Brothers song with just drums on it and fucking Ice Cube rapping on it. But Kanye remade like that, which is what people argue is like the best time for rap was the 90s. He kind of reinvented that with the way he would produce music. Then he came out with a College Dropout, and College Dropout to Graduation was like a whole different type of style of rapping. Like everything before that, for the most part, was all like gangster rap and just hood rap shit. And he even talks about it in a lot of his early interviews when he's talking about like, College Dropout. He pretty much calls his shot on like how he's gonna change shit with like all of that, like his insecurities, how he raps about his insecurities, how he raps about politics, how he raps about like, Chicago had more than 3,000 caskets, man, killing some whack shit, like all that type of rapping. He talked about like, when I talk about this, no one's gonna fuck with it, or maybe they will, I don't know, but regardless, it's gonna change shit. And it did. It created fucking Kid Cudi, Lupe Fiasco, like, and a bunch of other rappers like that, like even J. Cole, like all those type of motherfuckers all became because of Kanye. And then it came to a head when Graduation was gonna come out. 50 Cent and him made a bet on stage, like at some award show, like, my album's gonna sell more than yours, and whoever sells more is gonna have to retire, some shit like that. And Kanye blew him out of the fucking water. Kanye, like 50 Cent did not stand a chance. And like I get it, 50 Cent wasn't even that hard at the time, but still, it just proved that like that shit was over with. Like Kanye fucking created that whole scene. Then he changed pop culture again when he was gonna start working on my Dark Twisted Fantasy, because he brought a bunch of producers together, a bunch of rappers together, and he pretty much orchestrated the whole thing. He made everyone wear suits, and he just kind of created this whole like avant-garde, like fucking artistic fucking whatever the fuck, and kind of put the album together like a compilation album with his fucking stamp on it. And that shit is like regarded as maybe like the best rap album of the 2000s. And so then that fucking changed rap again, because then everyone was like, okay, well, like since Kanye's doing this, we're gonna start doing fucking rap groups again, like our I guess like labels again, because he had good music. And then that's when everyone, like Young Money was already like trying to do their own thing. I can't even think of the other one, but like there's like a bunch of other groups trying to build up their label again. Like, Kanye is a fucking big part of why that happened. Then he fucking, does so then in those interviews, he's like talking about like, like when he's about to do Yeezus, he's talking about what he's gonna do next. And like, because they're already asking him like, all right, so what's the next thing for Kanye? And then he's talking about like, this next album, like no one's gonna fuck with it because I'm 5 years ahead of everybody. Like my music's not gonna sound like whatever. And then he did Yeezus, and no one liked Yeezus at the time. Like, unless you were like already a diehard Yeezy fan, no one liked Yeezus. And within like a few months, it's fucking whatever. It didn't do as good, and then it blew up. Like even years later, it blew up. Like everyone's fucking fucks with it now, and that whole tour ended up being a fucking success. Well, that's when he had like the Black Mask thing on, and that's when he started doing his weirdo shit, like, which arguably is what started like his fashionable sense, because he's always been fashionable. It's like college dropout. He's fucking the pink polo with the Louis bag. Then he does like all the suits and the dapper shit with like my Dark Beautiful Fantasy. And then when Yeezus starts is when he starts doing the like, I'm gonna dress like a fucking bum and wear big ass boots and shit, which is arguably what took him here. And the thing with that is that like, just like the NBA lends itself to hip hop, the same way Kanye's persona and his image and the way he dresses and stuff, which obviously all rappers are like that. Rappers have to obtain their image and always look fucking cool or fresh or whatever. He would do the same shit, and he like arguably changed fucking like fashionable senses of what's like cool to wear from those times because of those periods of his eras. And then so then you go from Yeezus, that happens, and then he's like already talking. That's when he's doing like this Sway interviews, and he's like, I want to be a fucking fashion guy. No one knows shit. And the creative director of Kodak, it's Lady Gaga. I mean, I like some of the Gaga songs, but what the fuck does she know about cameras? It's like he's pretty much saying like, what the fuck, this white bitch got a job doing that shit? What the fuck does she know about that shit? I could easily do that shit. Look at me. I at least have the fucking track record to prove it. Everybody was wearing the fucking pink polo back in the day. Everybody was doing my shit. So why can't I do that? And that's exactly what happened. Like, you know what I mean? Because they lend themselves to each other. It's not like he's going from fucking like rapping to hockey, like, or rapping to politics. Like it just correlated. So then that happens, and then he marries Kim, and then he does that fucking album, and then the album with the Kim's ass on it, which is really good album, also a really good album, but a lot of more gospel stuff comes out in it, and then he does the gospel music after that, the gospel album after that, and it's then he starts doing the shows in LA, the freaking the choir shows and all that stuff. It's like just constantly pushing the envelope forward. It's not you can't argue. There's other people that you can say has done similar things, like if you want to say Drake, for example, but Drake hasn't done shit. Like, Drake is just a rapper. Like, he doesn't even write his own songs. Like, which, I mean, I don't honestly think it matters, but like, if you're not gonna write your own songs, you're not the producer, you're just like this cool guy who can rap and has a good delivery. It's like Kanye, everything Kanye has touched in the past since he started rapping, his win rate on everything he's touched is like at least an 80% win rate. Put these Pusha T albums that have been coming out that were produced solely by Kanye, fucking bangers. I don't think that anybody would ever have thought like, oh yeah, Pusha T's gonna have a sick ass album. No, fuck no. Like, all this stuff, oh my god, how did I forget the Kanye Jay-Z album? Another one like that shit. Him and Jay-Z did that album, and then what? Like a couple years later, Drake does one with Future, trying to be the same thing, and it's not the same. It's like you're not gonna touch Kanye on that. And that's just the truth. I don't know what to tell you. That's what I could think of off the top of my head right now.